Welcome to this quick tutorial of Google AI Studio, Part 4, Inclusion Tools. If you haven't seen the first 3 parts of this series, go back to the playlist and check those out. In Inclusion Tools, the first one we're going to talk about is the Alt Text and Accessibility Auditor. What this would be a step-by-step approach on how you would provide students with difficulty with vision impairment some access to some different images on your screen. So what's the first thing you do? Well, you have to go down here. Once again, I am in the playground feature of Google AI Studio. So normally if you default at home, go to the playground. You can go to the Gemini 3 Pro preview. You can click on this button and see the different models. I'm going to stick with Pro preview. It is a paid model you get for free for a limited amount of tokens. Down here in the plus button, what it's going to allow me to do, it's going to allow me to upload some files. So I'll go into my files here. I'm going to use a bunch of generated images. I'm going to hit open, load those in. And then I'm going to use this prompt. Generate high quality alt text descriptions for these images for a student who is visually impaired. Focus on the educational context of the image. And I'm going to hit run. You can see the images here, a variety of different images. I even have a coloring book one made with some of the tools I'll be sharing in the series. These are all made with Google Gemini 3 model, or 2.5 Flash, I should say. And I'll let it cook. I'll come back when it's done. And as you can see here, it did generate a proper naming and alt text for each of the following ones. It even picked up on the typo where this should say textbooks, so it is misspelled. So I did have to go back and edit that picture before I shared it with another activity here. So it does a great job providing alternate text for visual impairment. So what else can it do? As you can see under Google AI Studio, there's a bunch of different features here. The one I want to show you here is the live feature. This is probably one of my favorite tools. Click on the button here. And I'm going to use the talk feature here. And luckily, I do have a microphone that I can talk into and get some responses. Once again, it does remind you that these recordings are going to be used for training data. So don't say anything. Don't share any personal information that you don't feel comfortable. And remind your students as well if you choose to use this with them. It's going to check to make sure the microphone's working. I'll allow this time. And let's see if it records. Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Just here and ready to chat. How about you?
Well, I've got a little problem I need some help with. It's a math problem. Can you help me with that?
Sure, I can definitely try. What kind of math is it?
Can I upload a photo for you to look at?
Yes, I can see photos, so feel free to upload it.
I'm just going to use this plus button. I'm going to upload that file.
Sounds good. I'll wait for the file.
So this is an image of Pythagorean theorem question.
I see the image. It's a right triangle where one leg is 6, the hypotenuse is 10, and the other leg is x. You can use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for x. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 6 squared plus x squared equals 10 squared. Would you like me to walk you through the steps to find x?
I would love you to walk me through the steps.
First, calculate 6 squared and 10 squared. That gives you 36 and 100, respectively. So the equation becomes 36 plus x squared equals 100. Next, subtract 36 from both sides of the equation to isolate x squared. This gives you x squared equals 64. Finally, take the square root of 64 to find x. What do you get?
8.
That's correct. So the value of x is 8. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, you did a wonderful job. Thank you. Have a nice day.
You're very welcome. You have a great day too.
And you can see how flawless the interaction was in real time with this audio. Another neat tool within the live feature, so I am back in the playground, clicked on live again, going back into the Flash model, is the share your screen. So instead of uploading a file, I can bring a share my screen feature. I'm going to choose the correct tab here. Hey, how you doing? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. It looks like you're looking at a worksheet titled Sentences or Fragments. Is there anything you need help with?
Yeah, I'm having trouble with questions 2 through 14. Can you help me out?
Sure. To figure out whether a group of words is a sentence or a fragment, remember that a sentence must have a subject and a verb and express a complete thought. For example, in number 2, that little girl, it's a fragment because it's missing a verb. Number 3, we saw the dog.
Hold on a second. How could you make number 2 a complete sentence then?
You could add a verb like, that little girl is playing. That makes it a complete thought.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Let me know if you have any more questions as you go through them.
Will do. So you can see how flawless the interaction was. I drag over whatever I'm working on, anything on my screen it can look at, it can analyze, interpret, and once again, you can interact with different questions. It can give you the answer, which can be problematic, or it can help you guide. It's really about how you prompt it with your voice. So a very, very powerful model within Google AI Studio. So what else can it do? I'm going to be going back to the talk feature here. Let's have a conversation. For this one, this time I'm going to need you to be a language immersion partner. I am going to work on my conversational Spanish, and you're a native speaker. And I want you to conduct a conversation with me and gently correct my grammar after every response. Do you understand?
Entendido. Me parece un excelente plan. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás hoy?
Me llamo Felipe.
Felipe es solo tu nombre. Para responder a mi pregunta, ¿cómo estás?, podrías decir, estoy bien o no estoy tan bien. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Estás mezclando un poco los idiomas. En español sería muy bien. ¿Y tú? Yo estoy bien, gracias.
De nada.
De nada. ¿Qué te gustaría hacer ahora? ¿Tienes planes para hoy?
No comprende.
Quisiste decir no comprendo o no entiendo. Te pregunté qué te gustaría hacer hoy. ¿Tienes planes?
Can you translate that to English for me, please?
Sure. I asked, what would you like to do today? Do you have plans?
What would be some typical responses to that in Spanish and in English?
Podrías decir, todavía no tengo planes, o quiero descansar, o incluso, me gustaría salir. ¿Te sirve?
Can I have that in English as well?
You could say, I don't have plans yet. I want to rest, or even, I would like to go out. Does that help?
That is fantastic. Thank you for your help.
De nada. Cuando estés listo, podemos seguir practicando.
Excelente. So obviously, it takes a little bit of time for it to generate once it needs to translate, understand what you're saying, and go back, but still pretty quick coming back to you with a proper pronunciation and trying to interpret what you're saying and translating from English to Spanish and vice versa. Still a wonderful supplement if you're working with different language learners or just learning a language. That's the language immersion partner. That's using the live feature. All right, so what else can I look at here? So again, I'm going back into Google AI Studio under the live feature. I'm going to use the share the screen. And if you've seen my previous videos, oh, well, you know where this is going. I am sharing data sets. So I'm going to show a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet and show the entire screen. First, here we go here. I'm going to share that with the AI. I'm going to hide that. And I'm going to bring this over and see this. Hello, how are you today? Can you see what's on my screen right now?
Yes, I can see your screen. It looks like you have a Google Sheet titled Movies-Dataset open.
Well, it's actually an Excel spreadsheet. Do you understand that?
My apologies. Yes, I understand that it is an Excel spreadsheet.
I'm having some trouble exporting this so it's more visually appealing. Do you have any suggestions for me if I wanted to share this file with somebody else?
To make it more visually appealing when sharing, you could try a few things. First, you might want to adjust the column widths, especially for the overview column, to avoid the very tall rows. Also, double-clicking the boundary of column H might fix the hashtag errors by auto-fitting the dates. You can also use styles or conditional formatting from the ribbon to highlight key information. Finally, saving as a PDF is a great way to preserve formatting for sharing.
Excellent. Now, I'm confused about the titles for line 19 and line 20. Do you know what these titles actually are?
It looks like the titles in lines 19 and 20 are not visible because the column width is too narrow, showing hashtag. If you widen column C, you should be able to see the full titles.
No, the title is in the highlighted B sections, in B column, B19 and B20. Do you know what these titles are?
Ah, I see that now. The characters in B19 and B20, which are highlighted, appear to be cha 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 cha. These look like encoding issues and don't form recognizable titles. You might need to check the original file format to correct that.
Can you use the overview to make a guess what the name of the movie is in number 19, where it's highlighted now?
Based on the overview text in column D for row 19, which describes a story about a samurai and a village's request for protection, the title is likely Seven Samurai.
And what about for number 20?
For number 20, the overview describes a true story of a half-Irish, half-Sicilian kid and neighborhood gangsters, which points to the title A Bronx Tale.
You probably need to reread number 20. The overview in number 20 says, "In the final months of World War II." That's the name of that title. That's the name of the, overview. So can you figure out what the title is?
My mistake. Based on the overview in row 20 describing the orphans in Kobe, Japan during World War II, the title is Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, that makes much more sense. Thank you for your help.
I'm glad that's clearer. Is there anything else I can help you with on the spreadsheet?
You've been great. Now, with this, obviously, I have no idea if that was accurate or not, if it's Japanese anime, but that's pretty wild. They could pull it out and give me a name based upon that gibberish text that was in that cell file, which I really had no idea about. So it's pretty wild that you can do that. Either way, you can use this as a tutor for you, and this would be a live software coach where you can bring up any file, whether that's PowerPoint, Excel, any of the Google products you could bring up if you're working on Photoshop or some video editing and just share your screen. You're working on some code. Hey, can you just view the code and just tell me what I got wrong? Tell me what I need to fix. It could be any image on your screen. It can give you live software coaching. So that's pretty wild. So what else could it do? Let's keep going. So another feature of Google AI Studio within the live feature, I'm going to go back to the talk feature. Hey, I'm looking for an executive functioning coach. I am a 14-year-old boy and I'm having some issues organizing my day. If I share with you all of my chores and responsibilities, can you help me create a better schedule for myself, please?
Yes, I can definitely help you with that. Creating a structured schedule can make a huge difference. Just share your chores, responsibilities, and any regular activities you have, and we can work together to find a system that works for you.
Here are my daily duties. I also have school from 9 to 3:30. I have practice from 3:30 to 5. Wake up around 6:30, go to bed around 9. Where can I fit in all these chores? Let's say like a daily calendar starting in February.
That's a comprehensive list. To create a realistic schedule for February, we can break down tasks into daily, weekly, and monthly slots, making sure to prioritize school and practice. Here's a possible structure. Morning, 6:30, you have time
That
for a
structure looks
routine
great.
before
Can you
school.
map out an entire month for me?
I can definitely map that out. Since February has 28 days and we have daily, weekly, and monthly tasks, I'll create a sample schedule combining everything. We'll assume tasks are done every day, fitting before and after school and practice. Weekly chores can be scheduled on specific days, like
All
weekends
right, get
when you
started.
have. Here is a sample February schedule for you, balancing your responsibilities. How does this structure look to you?
Thank you for your help.
You're very welcome. Remember, consistency is key. Feel free to reach out if you need any adjustments or further guidance down the line.
So you can see this is just one example, but if you have any students with any learning differences, ADHD, they need things broken down, things chunked up, things organized, schedules made, you want to give a group a project to chunk up the responsibilities within multiple people, this is a great way for it to interact with the AI to help solve a lot of those problems. So once again, that's called the Executive Functioning Coach. For our final example of Google AI Studio's live tools and features, we're going to be using the webcam version here. I'm going to show you some assistive technology for people with visual impairment. There you go. You can see me in my studio now. Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Hey, I'm working on my American Sign Language. I need a visual sign language practice session. Can you help me out? I'm trying to spell my name, Phillip, Phillip. Can you help me with that?
Sure, I can help with that. To sign Philip, you'll start by fingerspelling P. Hold your hand in a fist with your thumb tucked under your index finger and point your index finger down. Ready for the next letter?
Does it look like this?
That's actually the sign for H. For P, you'll want to keep your hand in a fist, but point your index finger down and place your thumb perpendicular to it, almost like the K sign, but pointing down.
So like this?
That's the sign for A. Think of the sign for K, where your index and middle fingers are up, but point that hand downwards for P.
So like this?
Yes, that's perfect. That's the sign for P. Now for H. Are you ready for the next sign?
Let me try the rest out on my own. See if they're right. H-I-L-L-I-P. Is that good?
That was great. You did an excellent job with H-I-L-L-I-P. Keep practicing.
Thanks for your feedback.
You're welcome. Let me know if you want to practice anything else.
Will do. So what does this open up with the ability now to add a visual model with video? You can have any performance, whether that's students working on their public speaking, working on demonstrating science experiments, working on a performance, a dance, whatever it is that they can video. They can get instant feedback about the accuracy of that technique with Gemini as a model, being able to give it accurate feedback in real time. Where they're not embarrassed doing it in front of other people, in front of a class, they can do it in small groups or by themselves. Just another layer of features within Google AI Studio, the inclusion models. Once again, this one was a visual sign language practice. Obviously, you can do this with all kinds of other things. And before I forget, there's one more thing I want to show you for our inclusion tools section here. So once again, I am back at the main page, aistudio.google.com. I'm going to go back to the playground. And the final feature is we're going to take a dive into audio. Now, there are two different models you can play around with. Both of them work really well. I'm just going to choose the top one for this. And we're ready to chat. Now, within this playground, you can see it says raw structure here. It gives you some tone for the speaker 1 and speaker 2. And over here is a lot of the controls for this model. If you want to have two people having a conversation, that's really cool. I can show you how to run that. And then I want to show you what I think is even more important, the singer speaker audio. So single speaker audio for that. So let's run the one sample we have here so you can see what it kind of sounds like here. You can change the voices down here. It gives you different kinds of tones. You can change the voice for the second one as well, but I'm going to use the default just so you can see what it builds for this kind of script builder here.
Hello! We're excited to show you our native speech capabilities, where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
Now that sounds dead on human being to me. It may not sound the same to you, but I think it does a really nice job. Now, what I find is valuable for the inclusion piece is if you go to single speaker audio, you can also change the style. You can make it more informative. You can make it more sarcastic. You can make whatever the tone is that you want it to have inflection, or your students can change the tone of the speaker as well. What this does, it allows you to create an audio version of whatever notes you have, whatever instructions you're giving on a task, and you can upload that as an MP3 file. So if I had a set of instructions, for example, let's say I wanted to give you guys a short tutorial on how to use the text-to-speech features in Google AI Studio. And then I'm going to change the voice because I want to change it up a little bit. Let's pick a different voice here. Who do I want to mess with? So let's go to Oris. Nice firm tone there. And I hit run. And I'll fast forward this until it generates, and you can hear the output.
Step 1. Access Google AI Studio. Navigate to aistudio.google.com. Sign in with your Google account. On the home screen, locate the
All right, so you get the gist. You can read through these steps yourself at your leisure. But the cool part is once you look at the snowman button, these 3 vertical buttons, you can download this, and this will drop right as a WAV file, which you can use on your favorite interactive presentations or your favorite platforms you're hosting your assignments. Now, besides just the single speaker audio for inclusive purposes, you can have your students work out speeches, work out dialogues, create a podcast, create a play, do all kinds of features. And as you probably saw at the bottom when I was working on my style and my generation, it gave me prompts. It gave me ideas to put into this to make it even higher quality. So this is an easy way that you can add another layer to your inclusion strategies for audio, for our auditory learners in our classroom. And that's built in to Google AI Studio under the audio feature. And this has been part 4 of our quick tutorial for Google AI Studio. I will see you back here for part 5. Until then.